Facing a DUI charge, every decision matters. At the law office of Andrew W. Stewart II, we provide a skilled defense to protect your record, rights, and future. Call today or visit drewstewartlaw.com. Your future is worth defending.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 10.
Well, good evening and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. For some of us, we've been seeing each other a lot here frequently, but for others, it's been a calm evening and hopefully that continues to remain the case with a few showers here and there. We do need that rainfall, but a big welcome into the Room to Room Weather Center. Again, I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor assessing a lot of active activity. I guess activity is active. But anyway, an active evening across North Mississippi. More rain chances in store for our Tuesday. Can we expect anything severe with those? Well, we'll have the latest details on that forecast here in just a moment. Above average temperatures do continue in that extended forecast, especially into your Wednesday and Thursday. And the chances linger. Talking about rain chances, but not very much, as it is a much drier stretch moving into the next several days. So looking at that first 12, 20% by 11, but you might notice that 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning time frame now taking those rain chances off because models are pulling back on what was an otherwise saturated forecast. Again, we'll take a look at that here in just a moment, but needless to say, models not on our side for those rain chances into tomorrow. 10% chances linger for a good portion of our day, and yes, into that afternoon time frame, we do see some of those chances return. So let's start with the look outside. Caledonia right now, 73 degrees, one of those areas that has not seen me in the last 4 hours, which is a benefit because that means that you've not had any severe weather. We've had to cut in twice behind the scenes for some severe storms. So Greenville, 75 degrees. You stayed void of those as well. Had a few showers in the area, but 75 degrees now, a calmer forecast. That's how it'll be through the rest of our evening. And as we take a look at Mississippi Live Weather, you can see what we've been assessing behind the scenes. I'm going to have to move radar sites here real quick over to our Columbus radar site, so bear with me one moment while I do that. And here's what we were tracking just a few moments ago. And we actually did get a report of some quarter-sized hail over there towards Calhoun County because this had a decent hail signature on it. I mean, just track it over the last hour because that's when that warning was issued up there towards the the Lafayette County line. You see right there some of those blacks and purples popping up, meaning that this had a lot of lift to it, and that meant a decent hail core as well. Severe thunderstorm warning got issued until 10 o'clock, has since expired, and we expect that to be the case for that storm through the rest of its life cycle. Now out here, I'm going to have to expand it out one moment and jump to this latest scan here because Choctaw over there towards the Grenada County area and Hardy, Riverdale, and Casilla over there towards the Grenada County and Yalobusha County line. That's what we're watching for, more of that inclement weather, because watch right here over the last hour how that has started to develop just a little bit more, remaining very scattered, remaining very isolated, but now starting to get some of those hail cores associated with it. So we're going to assess that here in just a moment in more detail, but those are definitely ones to pay attention to in that extended forecast as I track it out on that latest scan, and I'm going to have to do this behind the scenes, so wait with me one moment. I'm still going to be here. I'm just going to be over off to the side. So let me grab the mouse here real quick and drag out a track, and we're going to do this entire leading edge. Seems like there's a boundary right here that these are following, and I'm even going to include this one up there towards bounds, and we're going to go down. They were tracking about 15 to 20 miles an hour earlier on today, and so as we're looking now, bounds closer to 1004, Kincaid 1007, Grenada 1008, Susie 1011, on there towards the Glenwild area 1020, Elliott 1029, and then closer to Duck Hill around 1042, and then so on and so forth further into the evening. But that'll be ones to pay attention to, especially back here towards Grenada. I mean, we're looking primarily northwest of Grenada, and as these continue to move south, that's going to be the primary areas that we watch. So assessing those severe weather threats, you can still see that this is still out of Memphis, isn't it? I got this. looking at those severe weather threats, I'm going to have to move it back over to our Columbus radar site, or our Monroe County radar site, should I say, and go on those severe threats. You can see that we have diminished out a good bit. And just looping this over the past, we'll do 30 minutes. You can see that this did not have a hail core associated with it. Some of those blues starting to pop up and some of those deeper blues starting to show there towards the east and west side of Grenada, right along Highway 8. So paying attention to those areas. Still having a little bit of a hail core along 330 just outside of Bruce. So assessing all of that, of course, into the rest of our Monday evening. And we've been assessing that all Monday evening already. I guess we just can't get enough of these storms. We asked for rainfall, and what did God provide? Lots of rainfall. It just came at a cost with how much activity there's been. And it's really the only shower in the entire North Mississippi area, the entire southeast area for the most part, because a lot of this has dissipated on out like we expect these to do as well here in just a few moments. High pressure dominating our area will continue to do so into our Monday evening. So hopefully that's a good sign, because that means no rumbles of thunder for a lot of folks as they're sleeping. I know it startles us just a bit, but watch how we head into our Tuesday morning, how some of that moisture returns once again, that shear axis that we've been watching, producing a few of those pop-up showers there towards the southern end of our viewing area and really down there towards Louisiana and the Jackson area. So by noontime, those showers starting to return, become a bit more widespread into that early to mid-afternoon. So that's where we expect those chances to really build, is going to be mid to late afternoon, even into your late evening hours. But then we look at that morning forecast around 10%. Again, we're not overly high, and this is you hear me say it all the time, a pack the umbrella just in case type forecast, because that's what we're going to be dealing with tomorrow with that sporadic development. Not going to be a uniform line that we track all the way through. These are going to be, they form right over the top of you, build, and then start to diminish in itself, collapse into itself. So we'll be assessing that in more detail heading into Mississippi Live Weather tomorrow morning, heading into Mississippi Live Weather tomorrow evening, and coming up in the next 60 seconds here on Mississippi Live Weather at 10 right now. So this is a forecast we are going to be paying attention to. And of course, I told folks in the stream earlier on, if you have any questions on this forecast, please put it in the chat. We're going to be answering a few of those questions, as well as your storm reports. Those have been significant in assessing tonight's event. And so a big thank you to everyone that has submitted those, and even saying that it's just raining in your area. That's a good report as well. So go ahead and drop those reports in the chat, and we'll be looking at those here in just a moment in more detail on Mississippi Live Weather at 10. And of course, all of that coming up in the next 60.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow. Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather at 10. I told you guys we are going to start with some of your storm reports, and this one submitted from Calhoun County from Rebecca, giving us a good idea of what took place. And yes, you are looking at that correctly. That is a quarter large hail falling in that area, about an inch size. So this is a decent storm that was rolling through the northwest side of Calhoun County and continues to move through it right now, but fortunately not anywhere near this hail size. Let's go ahead and get into that with our Mississippi Live Weather radar. You can see right here that we have been tracking these storms all evening long. And as we jump right back into the forecast, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do some stuff behind the scenes, but bear with me one moment as I get back on track with these radar sites. We are looking out of Monroe County, and I'm going to jump to the latest scan right here. And you can see that these have better hail cores there, and I say better as in more mature hail cores there around the Gore Springs area, and of course on the west side of Grenada County, moving through Casilla, I believe I'm saying that right, and Rosebloom there, just on the just on the west side of I-55. So as that continues to push further towards the south, let's look at the past couple of scans on this storm. And as you can see, becoming a bit more widespread, but I would say the core not as impressive. Now this one back here towards Hurricane Branch and closer to the Highway 8 Gore Springs area, watch how this has progressed over time. And right there, that is a decent core on that storm. And I'm going to take a 3D cross section on this storm here real quick because I think it's worth mentioning that that hail core is a little bit more concerning than what it once was a few scans ago. So looking right there, it's getting up to about, 10,000 feet if you want to stretch that. So for folks that have been on the live stream over the past hour or so, you might think, well, Gabe, 10,000 feet's nothing. You're right, comparatively speaking, because when we were tracking that one storm towards northwest Calhoun County, that was upwards of about 20 to 25,000 feet. So shows a little bit of a difference between these two storms. And the fact that that one moving through Calhoun County was producing quarter-sized hail, this one maybe pea-sized hail at best. We're talking about 8,000 feet on those storm tops right there, at least on that hail core. So let's go ahead and get back into that 2D mode because assessing that has shown me that this is not nearly as impressive of a storm as what we were once tracking earlier. And speaking of that storm, that one continues to move through Benwood and Bounds right along the Schoona area. And if we take a cross-section of that, yes, we're going to take another 3D mode here real quick to look at this core. Let's go ahead and do that here. And we're going to get into, we're digging for a hail core at this point. We're talking 5,000 feet right there. I say that, getting into about 8,000 to 9,000 feet. So similar to that, but again, this is a storm that is collapsing on itself and dissipating out. We're not expecting that to be overly concerning into that extended forecast. So fortunately, I think the worst is past us on this batch of storms, and I think that we are trending better. That being said, let's jump back over to the Memphis radar site because this is a new development that has recently happened. Okay, it was more impressive from Monroe County. If we jump over to Memphis, we can kind of get a better idea, and that storm not nearly as impressive as what was showing up out of Monroe County. But reason why I say let's take a look at it, because look at how it's trended over the past few scans, at least a little bit more impressive, but how much energy is left? And we're lacking the daytime heating. It's moving into night. It's just not exactly an environment that's favorable for it. So I think that, again, the worst is past us, but over there towards Dean's Corner, we can go ahead and put a storm track on this. Let's see if it's even moving that much. 5 to 10. Again, this is a slow mover. These are not fast storms. Having a 20-mile-an-hour storm earlier on this evening was a bit of a shocker because it's not been like that at all. So West Day is 10:18, Pleasant Hill closer to about 10:41. Slow mover, guys. we're talking 30 minutes from now, so you have plenty of time to prepare. But that one not having a hail core just yet, could potentially have it here in the next 10-15 minutes or so, so keeping an eye on that one. But that is just going to be a heavy rain shower at most. And again, our eyes are still remaining down there towards Grenada County. So let's go ahead and do one last look at our Monroe County site and look at these storms. And yeah, again, not overly impressed, but doing an assessment on that entire line, we can do a storm track. And let me put that going south at about, now that's the question, is it still moving about 20 miles an hour? We'll put 18 and do a 30-minute loop. Yeah, I would say we're still about 15 to 20 miles an hour. I like that. So seeing right there some times, Glenwild 10:14, Retreat 10:19, Elliott 10:24, Lilac 10:33, Duck Hill 10:35, Jefferson 10:48, Slate Spring 10:56, Sawyer 11:01, and Spring Hill closer to 11:03. And again, that is if it holds together. You see some of this development going south away from the storm. This is just, again, that cyclical nature where some can develop along those boundaries and move out ahead or behind these storms. So not exactly a uniform fashion, but at least this disturbance that's taking place along Grenada County can potentially produce more surrounding that storm. So we're keeping eyes on that batch because that's going to be our big driver moving into the rest of our evening. So let's get back to the show because I think that I feel good enough to go ahead and move past these. And wait, before I do that, I want to check chat here real quick. Lambert and Crowder, lightning, winds, and yeah, a lot of lightning. There was about 120 strikes at one point in the last 30 minutes. I think that we are, when is cooler weather coming? Someone asked that earlier on. I don't know as of right now because the long range forecast isn't exactly ideal for it. But we are hopeful a few frontal boundaries as we enter into that fall season at least will produce some cooler temperatures. We'll keep eyes on that and, of course, be tracking that over the next few days. But needless to say, in summary, we're not overly high on those chances. Let's go ahead and look at a few cameras surrounding the area. This one over there, I forget, Maven is down. I apologize for that. Let's jump to the next one here real quick. This is Smithville, 74 degrees, feels like 73. You're seeing some cloud cover over and around the region, so that moisture at least impacting us where it comes to cloud cover, even though it might not impacting us with rainfall. Because again, rain chances around 10% coverage for the entirety of North Mississippi during that midnight hour, with more returning heading into our morning commute. So fingers crossed, because we do need those rain chances, but might need the windshield wipers on for a select few of us for our Tuesday morning. There's your chances around 2 a.m. and those even dissipating out by 3, 4, and 5 o'clock. So we're entering a much drier pattern overnight compared to what we've been seeing so far this evening. And 6 a.m. again, you see those drier conditions, but with a few showers developing within that cloud cover. Low temperatures, upper 60s with a few low 70s sprinkled in there with South Haven and Greenville, 70 and 71 respectively. So a mild start to the day, 67 towards drop off, 85 by lunch, and 91 by the last bell. It is going to be a toasty forecast for those that stay dry, and that'll be the majority of us that stay on the drier side, and those isolated chances really returning by the afternoon. Let's track that here real quick. 7:30, you can see those showers building north there towards the Golden Triangle region in Monroe County. Very light, so even if they were able to actually produce, we're not seeing anything too significant rainfall-wise. So 10:30, there's those chances still trying to linger, and by 11, 12 o'clock, there's your most significant cell that we've seen so far down there towards Atala County and Holmes County. That's going to be our best chances, but then starts to build, and this is what I'm talking about with that sporadic development by around 3 o'clock on your Tuesday. Just starting to form over Lafayette, Marshall, and Panola County, really becoming more widespread by about that 4 and 5 o'clock hour. So keeping eyes on these cells, but it's only going to be a select few that are actually impactful. The rest of it, just a few sprinkles at best. And so that's the unfortunate part, is we need that significant rainfall all across North Mississippi, but for a large part of us, I think we'll have to wait a little bit longer. Low to mid 90s are our high temperatures, with those feels like values right around that same margin. So luckily that drier air, despite the moisture being in the forecast, will still be dominating our area, not making that heat overly oppressive. Tuesday evening, you can see that we are staying on the drier side for the most part. Midnight, of course, those showers trying to move in, but those remaining out there towards North Alabama. 3 a.m., cloud cover, patchy cloud cover at best. And then as we move towards our Wednesday morning, a much drier forecast already. That's the thing about Wednesday's rain chances basically plummeted. And the little bit that we did have even decided that it's not going to show up in North Mississippi. It's not ready to take a vacation here to North Mississippi, and I don't blame it. But here, rain chances try to return towards the afternoon, but a lot of this not verifying. So I'm curious to see how this verifies. Right now we have coverage at about 10%, so not overly high. That model trying to overcompensate just a bit, but we're going to keep eyes on that 48-hour forecast to see how that changes into our Wednesday. High temperatures, we're talking low to mid 90s once again, where it's going to be a drier forecast, which again, we expect that to be the majority of us, and those heat indices still showcasing those drier conditions. So at least the heat keeping it bearable. High temperatures, you can see that we top out around Thursday at 94 degrees, just that slow climb because of that those drier conditions pushing in. But into Friday and the weekend, this is a pretty pyramid right here, very picturesque. That basically is a, what is that called, where it's equal on both sides? Is that a palindrome? It's a palindrome temperature forecast. Is that a palindrome? Or am I crazy? My English teacher would be very upset with me right now. Rain chances 20% on Tuesday, 10% for Wednesday and Thursday, and then climbing back to 20% towards the weekend. But you might notice a difference that we're not talking 30% this weekend. Models have really pushed back, and by the time we get towards Monday and Tuesday, that's going to be our best chances for rainfall. I'm really curious if that's a palindrome now. It's going to be stuck in my head. So there you go, Wednesday, Thursday, limited coverage, but then really increasing there towards Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I say really increasing with a grain of salt. We're still only talking 20% coverage, so it's not going to be overly impressive, but sorry, I'm reading the chat. Ricky, go ahead and refresh the app here real quick. It might be the issue, and see if that works. Then towards Monday, early next week, that's where rain chances do return, along with those cooler conditions. Fall is officially 7 days away. We are a week away from that fall season. So heading into fall season, at least we are trending in the right direction. Folks wanting that cooler weather, I think that starting to move into play heading through the weekend and into early next week. Now, you can always track that forecast using the Mississippi Live Weather app. We, of course, have those temperature forecasts, those long-range forecasts, everything you need to know heading into that fall season. And we'll, of course, have those 24/7 live streams here to update you on that fall season as well. You can tune into our live streams at 5, 6, and 10 during the evening, as you have been this evening. And, of course, picturesque. Okay. Patty, I'm curious if it's palindrome. I'm so curious. I know it is picturesque. I agree with you on that, but palindrome. About to go Google that after this. We will be back tomorrow morning live with meteorologist Maggie McCauley, 6:37 and 7:30. So make sure to tune in to the latest broadcast that you'll need for the day, walking you through those latest rain chances and, of course, everything you need to know for your Tuesday. 5, 6, and 10 we'll be back tomorrow evening. Hopefully not talking about severe weather, but if we do have to cut in, similar to what we did tonight, we will do exactly that. Always tracking stuff behind the scenes here, and if we feel the need to cut in, if it's going to be an impactful storm, we will, of course, do so. Keep you guys safe. But you guys have a fantastic evening. Get some well-deserved rest, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning with meteorologist Maggie McCauley.
What would you give for a child you loved? To make their wish come true? To help them fight a critical illness? Just imagine what you'd do. Every single one of us can make the stars align, because when we come together, hope and joy will shine.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Laupon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Laupon has proven himself trustworthy.